Hello, everybody. My name is Graham Elwood, and you are watching the Political Vigilante. So, why are all these billionaires selling off stock and accumulating a bunch of cash? Jeff Bezos sells $2 billion of Amazon stock after Food Nature pledge. He supposedly does this because he wants to help the nature and the planet. No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. There's no way he wants that. There's no way he wants that. So what else, though? Because there's other stuff I wanted to show you. Because there's that story. And then there's Warren Buffett. Cash pile tops record $49.2 billion. That was in November, right? Elon Musk just sold some stock too. Buffett has struggled with a high-class problem of having too much money in Berkshire's pockets and not enough chances to put that work in higher returning assets. Berkshire Hathaway Inc. now has a record amount of money to put to work. Berkshire's cash pile hit new heights of $149.2 billion of funds in the third quarter, surpassing a record set in early 2020. The company said in its earnings report Saturday, the fresh high came even as Buffett poured more money into buying back its own stock with $7.6 billion of repurchases in the period, the third highest tally since the board changed its policy on buybacks in 2018. Buffett has struggled with high-class problem of having too much money in Berkshire's pockets. The sprawling conglomerate has benefited as many as its vast array of business bounce back from the initial throes of the pandemic, which helped boost operating profit 18% in the third quarter. Another company that's had record profits during the pandemic. Okay. Berkshire's railroad generated record earnings even as the industry grappled with supply chain pressures, while the company's energy business posted their highest profits in data going back to mid-2009. Record numbers of cash. So why am I talking about this? I'll tell you why I'm talking about this. I'm talking about this because I think these rich guys know the stock market is going to crash. So all these companies have had record profits because of the pandemic, right? You or someone you know might have lost their job or might be facing eviction, but not the ruling class. They've had record profits. They are pulling out their cash, and the stock market is going to crash at some point. How do we know this? Well, we know this because of this isn't like my guesswork. This is what I'm not a financial expert, but you watch like Max Kaiser, watch the Kaiser report, right? Or listen to what all these people say who've been studying this for a long time. We've talked about all the money printing that's happened, the trillions of dollars that have been printed, right? So that's creating mass inflation. So the last time the stock market tanked was in March of 2020, which is when the whole world basically got shut down because of COVID and the markets got tanked. Now, how does this relate to Bitcoin? Because Bitcoin, like it or not, is still tied to the stock market. It's still tied to it. So if the markets crash, Bitcoin is going to go way down. Currently, it's low right now. It's at about $48,000. It's been under 50 for almost a week. And I think they know the stock market is going to crash soon. And that's why they're selling and just holding a bunch of cash. Why? Because when the stock market crashes and Bitcoin goes with it, they're going to buy up all this stuff at lower prices. This is what the ruling elites do. This is what wealthy people do. They don't put money in a savings account and earn 0.5% interest. They don't do that. So I think, and I heard BitBoy Crypto talk about this. And so if the stock market crashes, Bitcoin will go down with it. I'll tell you what I'm going to do when that happens. I'm going to buy more Bitcoin. If it drops to like below 30 or 20,000 or something like that, I'll buy it. Because when it crashed in March of 2020, I wasn't really in the crypto space yet. I owned a little Ray from Rockfin, but I didn't really know much about Bitcoin. And it went from like 8 or 9 grand to 3,800. and it stayed 38 and it started to slowly come back. I think if Bitcoin goes that low, I don't think it'll stay low that long, because what we've just seen, what we saw in May and June, it went under 30 grand for a brief second. But I think these big billionaires are selling off their stocks and amassing all of this cash because they're going to be buying up everything. They can never own enough. So when the markets crash and regular people, middle-class people, or people who are maybe upper middle class, they're going to get everyone, as of course, the markets are going to crash. Regular people, small business owners are going to get wiped out, and they're going to have all this money, and they're going to buy up as much property as they can. I told you this during the CARES Act, when the first CARES Act came out in spring of 2020. What was it? We were in April, or we were in the second month of the shutdown. It was the single greatest upward transference of wealth in the history of the world. So this is going to happen. There's going to be a big economic collapse of some kind, which is why I've been telling you to get into Bitcoin, specifically but the whole crypto market will go low. And if it does, if you are in a position, buy up. But be careful, because this stock market crash could lead to a whole house of cards. It could lead to a run on the banks. If the banks go belly up, and I mean, the federal government will probably keep backstopping everybody, meaning they'll just do more stimulus. But it's these guys, these billionaires are not amassing cash for no reason. Warren Buffett has even said Bitcoin is a Ponzi scheme or whatever. I don't know if he's going to buy Bitcoin if it crashes. I bet you he will, because he's just got too many smart people around him and knows all of his friends and people he likes and trusts are all like buying Bitcoin. And eventually he's going to get on it. But even if he doesn't, they still know stocks are going to crash. And when there's a big market correction, if you have a lot of cash, when the economy tanks, if you've got cash, you're going to clean up. You're going to get a deal on a house, cars, any sort of asset and especially you want to be able to accumulate assets that generate revenue. So if you're looking to buy a piece of property or something, I don't know, think about it. Everybody's situation is different. You might want to wait, because if you buy at the peak of the market and then it crashes, you're going to be underwater on your house, which maybe is not a big deal to you because you're going to live there for the next 20 years and that's fine. But I'm just saying, think the way the ruling class thinks, not so we can be evil like them, but so that we cannot get crushed by their little scams. That's why I like Bitcoin and crypto so much. It empowers regular people. So summer of 2020, a year and a half ago, when I started paying attention to this and started listening to people like Michael Saylor and Raoul Pal, who are traditional money guys, they're Wall Street guys. And when they were telling me all this institutional money is coming in, I think that's what they're doing. BitBoy Crypto thinks this way. I investigated it. That's what I think. I don't know. BitBoy Crypto, just our opinion. It's his opinion. I don't know the guy personally. It's just my opinion. But their only reason they're liquidating stocks is they're in a position to buy something big, or they know the market's going to tank soon. And they see some indicators that we don't see or something, and they're like, oh, the market's going to tank soon. So I'm just telling you, I'm just pointing this out to you. Follow the money, connect the dots. And if you're a long-term holder of Bitcoin specifically, a big market correction is not going to hurt you. If you're day trading, you can get wiped out. But if you're just buying to hold for the long term, acquire more. That's what I'm going to do. Because Bitcoin, if it collapses to 20,000 or whatever, it'll eventually get back up, and it's going to hit 100,000. Probably in the first 3 to 6 months of 2022. If there's a big market crash, it might take a lot longer. But beware of what the ruling class is doing. They know there's some type of crash coming. That's why they're amassing all of this cash. File the money, connect the dots, get the truth, and then you can protect yourself. I lost my home in the housing crisis of 2008 because I wasn't paying enough attention. I was just doing what they tell middle-class regular people to do. And I trusted. I didn't like Bush, but I thought Obama was going to come in and save the day. And he gave the banks money just like Bush and didn't regulate a goddamn thing. So if the banks do some more crooked shit and if the markets collapse, the banks will be taken care of. You and I won't. Maybe we'll get another $600 stimulus debit card if we're lucky. If our overlords allow us to dig through their garbage cans after their kid's birthday party, maybe we'll have some food. But watch what the ruling class does. Then you can be more prepared. You know what I'm saying? You live near the beach. If the tide goes out way, way, way more than it ever should, you know a tsunami's coming. A tidal wave's coming. Get the fuck to high ground. Shave your knuckles for justice. Trying to make Gotham great again before they buy it all up. Boom. Hey, everybody. Thanks for watching. We are still in our 9th month of demonetization from YouTube. So support what we're doing at patreon.com/Graham Elwood or rockfin.com/Graham Elwood, which is a blockchain cryptocurrency platform. It's free to sign up, and there's a premium level at $10 a month. And for that, you get everybody on the platform's premium content. Myself, Lee Camp, Ron Placone, Jimmy Dore, Whitney Webb, Kim Iverson, Abby Martin, and many, many others. You can also support what we're doing at Venmo at Graham-Elwood and go to GrahamElwood.com. We have a PayPal button and a PO box. I also have crypto wallets, which are all in the show notes. Thanks for supporting what we do.